Just got by joins us right now, New Jersey Democratic Congressman Tom Reed, Republican. They are the caucus co-chairs of this House Problem Solvers group. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. I'll begin with you, Congressman Gottheimer, on whether this is better than nothing. The idea that the president might entertain, I don't know if they call it a skinny virus relief bill, but one that might include pandemic relief checks for folks or rescue the airline industry. Leave it at that for now. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think you really need to take this on as a comprehensive approach. You know, doing this thing piecemeal is very difficult. You end up leaving a lot of people out. We've got small businesses hurting, small towns hurting, a lot of families who really need help. So I think the way this has come together and the way we get it done is by bringing these pieces together, and we're so close. You know, I think we've got to get back to the table. It's what Tom and I have been pushing for, as well as the Problem Solvers Caucus, for people to re-engage. We need the administration to come back. We'll all sit back together. And I think the key is just to get this done. You've got far too many people hurting right now.
Congressman Reed, were you surprised? Was it a lightning bolt out of the blue when the president said, that's it, it's overdone, this waits until after the election?
Well, you know, I've been hearing a lot of positive information being exchanged. We've been working, Josh and I, in the Problem Solvers Caucus for 8 weeks now, and really we're happy that the negotiators were back in the room, and we were hearing positive indications from our sources at the White House and in the Senate and in the House that they were getting closer. The bottom line is, I think there may have been some miscommunication here too, Neil. That is what I'm hearing. Some of the folks in the Senate that I talked to, senators themselves, were under the impression this was a $2.2 trillion offer that Pelosi put down as her last and best offer. And really, I think that what may be on the table is a $1.7 trillion deal. And from my perspective, if we're talking about a 1.7, our Problem Solvers Caucus deal was at 1.5. And I'll tell you, when we talked about that today with some senators, they're like, if that's where the deal is at, there seems to be an appetite to embrace it, to get this done. And so I hope that these folks get back in the room, the Speaker, the President, as well as Mitch McConnell and the senators, get into the room to clarify any miscommunication and put their last best offers on the table, because I think they're really close in that final package.
Wow. I didn't know they were that close. Congressman, assuming he's right, and you're both smart gentlemen, so I'm sure you think he is right. I'm wondering if, you know, for $200 billion and that close, that a deal could still be had. It could be a deal closer to what we were hearing originally considered: pandemic relief, unemployment relief that would renew again. I guess it depends on whether it's $300, $400 or the old $600, but that an old coronavirus relief measure, fairly sweeping, could still be had. Do you agree with that?
I think what I understand, and I agree with Tom, is that we're actually very close, and all the parties, you know, the Secretary of Treasury and and of course the Speaker, were in the room, really close to getting there, not wanting to quit on the American people. And what's really important, Neil, as you know, is less about the top line number and more what's in the number. What programs are we doing? We're doing, you know, how are we helping people with stimulus checks and PPP, and helping people with unemployment, and standing by our restaurants and our airline workers. You've got a lot of people hurting. You've got to make sure we've got that testing lined up, especially as we head into flu season. So the key is what's in there. And I think, as Tom points out, you know, what often happens is people are speaking past each other. It's really important that we get everyone back into the room. It's what the Problem Solvers Caucus was so focused on, just getting people, here's a framework for how we restart negotiations. And, you know, we just can't walk away. And, you know, the idea that we'd wait months now to help people is unconscionable. It's unacceptable. So let's get people back into the room.
You know what's inspiring about both of you guys? I'm sure you've been told this before. The whole point of the Problem Solvers Caucus, 50 men and women strong, evenly divided, Republicans, Democrats, is that you can get stuff done. So you put the extreme, you know, nonsense out, and you try to cobble together something that would be mutually acceptable. It's a concept. We used to do this all the time, but now you have to have a caucus to harken back to that. Do you think after this election, regardless of who wins, we can return to that kind of stuff? I'll begin with you on this, Congressman Reed.
I absolutely agree with you, Neil. We need to get back to that and be proud Republicans and proud Democrats, like I know Josh is, and the members of the Problem Solvers Caucus on the other side of the aisle, but respect each other, listen to each other, work with each other, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't always be about who's going to win the political battle. but how do we work together to win for the American people? And that's what we're all about in the Problem Solvers Caucus. And when Josh and I have a disagreement, we work it out. We stay in the room to find out where are we coming from. Listen to each other, respect each other, trust each other so that you don't miscommunicate and you find that common ground that you can agree upon. And that's why this deal right now with this COVID-19 deal, I'm not giving up on it. I know Josh isn't giving up on it. We are very close, and they just need to get back in the room and finish this off for the American people.
And Neil, I think just adding to that,
Congressman Gottheimer?
you're just spot on about putting country first. I think we spend too much time screaming and yelling and not enough time actually working together. I think the country wants some more civility. They want us to actually get things done. You're not always going to get everything you want, but the key is to keep moving the country forward. And with what we're facing with this COVID crisis and the economic crisis and the health crisis, we've got to stay in the room and get it done.
Gentlemen, you lift my spirits that hope springs eternal, that two sides could talk to one another, disagree, but you don't have to be disagreeable. You don't have to take cheap shots. I wish you well. I'm sure you'll cobble together something.